Welcome back to New Rockstars. I am Erik Voss, and I know, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse included Miles' roommate Genki Lee playing the real-life upcoming Spider-Man 2 game. It's one of 50 additional details and Easter eggs I did not include in my massive breakdown of the film that I am now going to share with you after yet another rewatch of this amazing film. Spoiler warning, and let's do this one last time. But real quick, I did break down the 2018 film for dozens of new details, and I hosted a live stream of Across the Spider-Verse on the Deep Dive channel. Subscribe and support us with a Miles Morales Multiverse Dive shirt at nerdriot.shop. In case you missed it, New Rockstars isn't just one channel anymore, it's 3! Earlier this year, we launched the Deep Dive, where I dig into the deeper meaning behind everything you love. And our newest channel, The Break Room, is where all of your nerdy friends are gonna hang out online. It's also the new home for Inside Marvel and all of our reactions to the latest trailers, TV shows, and movies. We've got so many cool videos planned, so head on over and subscribe. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the New Rockstars main channel and the Deep Dive. Okay, the opening frames of the film actually have a red graffiti word, cough, flash in the lower right corner. This is a running joke with Lord and Miller films since 22 Jump Street, when a cough was audible in the opening seconds, and they added a cough to the 2018 Into the Spider-Verse film if you listen closely. Detail number 2, a dolphin sound effect can be heard over the Lord and Miller logo. Another running joke from these guys from Clone High when they put that sound effect in everything, the Lego movie, and yes, the opening cards of the 2018 Spider-Verse film. Detail 3, one of the shirts Earth 65 Peter wears, along with that Halloween lizard costume, is the same polo that Peter Parker wears in the 90s animated series. Detail 4, in Miles' recap, he talks about a baby powder sponsorship deal, which is a callback to Peter B. Parker in the 2018 film recommending baby powder in the suit. And we see Miles' YouTube apology video. It gets 11 million views, yet somehow 69 million downvotes. 69. And this comment, I heard it was made from actual babies though, for real. Detail 5, in Miles' fantasy, when he reveals himself to his parents, I love how they throw the couch in the air and it never comes back down because it's a fantasy. Detail 6, bagels are everywhere in this movie, reflecting their importance to the spot's origin from the 2018 movie, that amazing moment, and of course the Everything Everywhere All at Once, everything bagel symbol. But bagels are also in the pastry case in the bodega. A bagel also follows Miles and Jonathan Owen through a portal, and in the Spider Society cafeteria, a lot of people are eating bagels. Detail number 7, in the ATM, the $100 bills are not Benjamin Franklin's. I now realize they're actually Alan Hawkins, Sony's animation supervisor. Detail 8, Miles' dad was named Jeff Davis in the 2018 movie and in the comics, but if you look at his badge in this movie, they have updated his name to Jeff Morales, meaning he took his wife's surname. Now, the comics go into why Jeff and Rio decided to give Miles Rio's surname of Morales. Basically, Jeff didn't want Miles to have his father's last name. Detail 9, when Miles is late, Jeff says, I see bubbles on the phone, referring to the 3 dots on the text feed, but it's also literally the soap suds that Miles is covered in this moment. Detail 10, when Miles returns to his dorm room, he waits for pigeons to fly past like a jogger waiting for traffic at an intersection, showing how Miles has learned after running into pigeons and sticking to all of them in the first movie. Detail 11, yes, Genki Lee is playing the Spider-Man 2 upcoming video game when Miles enters the room. That lucky kid gets the game early. 12, on Genki's wall is a poster for soccer player Hamingson, known for doing a Spider-Man celebration whenever he scores. He's also apparently friends with Tom Holland. 13, Miles jokes about buying 2 cakes as kind of a life hack, but buying 2 cakes later screws him over because he can't thwip with both of them in his hands. Just a fun way of showing Miles trying to juggle 2 parts of his life. 14, when Jeff follows Miles and Spot to the Alchemix site, he faces a leap of faith into a portal, but then he wusses out and takes the stairs, just like Miles initially did with his jump test in the 2018 film. 15, the Spot reveals that the number 42 spider came from an alternate dimension, Earth 42, and I love how they foreshadowed this in the first movie by having the spider glitch in that movie because the spider was in the wrong reality. 16, for the Spot's design, VFX supervisor Mike Lasker said that as the Spot evolves throughout the movie, his ink spots get more and more active and busier, and they have just more personality as they pop off his body. 17, when Miles swings with Gwen, he says,
oh, he's like a ninja vampire Spider-Man, but a good guy?
A vampire good guy. I'd pay good money to see that.
He says, a vampire good guy, I'd pay good money to see that. A meta nod to Morbius, good guy vampire that Sony hoped we'd pay good money to see. Twice. 18, Miles tells my favorite character in the movie to stop licking the window, and it's kind of a callback to when he put his mouth on Aaron's window back in 2018. 19, when we first see the Spot's apartment, beneath that Everything Everywhere All at Once reference billboard is a sign, 1917, 1610616, 1610, Miles Universe, 616, the main Marvel Universe, 1917, I don't know, maybe not to the Sam Mendes movie. 20, and my favorite shot of the movie, Gwen walks upside down on that bank building, and the sunset flare disappears and then reappears upon the rotation. It's so beautifully designed, everything in the scene. 21, another detail here, Gwen and Miles sit upside down by whipping the underside of the overhang, and then as they sit, their hands and legs must be sticky. They got sticky butts. 22, as they hang upside down, you can see gravity tugging their eyebrows, their cheeks, and their foreheads upward. 23, on the way to Jonathan Owen's place, there is a sign in the background, soda. It's a generic brand. 24, Javier Prabakar's acrobatic movement and the way he flattens his feet as he moves is based on, and I'm gonna mispronounce this, I'm so sorry, Kalari Payattu. It's a 2,000-year-old martial art from the Indian region of Kerala, one of the oldest known martial arts still practiced in the present day on Earth. 25. I had already talked about how Hobie Brown's body was animated with a lower frame rate, but it's actually different parts of his body. Like his body was animated on 3s with his vest slightly offset. His guitar is animated on 4s so that we see each individual part of him strumming it as a rock star pose, and its general outline is actually animated on 2s, the way Miles was at the beginning of the 2018 film. So they separated different parts of his body for an overall anarchic punk rock aesthetic. June is when summer heats up, and if you want to keep cool, minimize your time in the kitchen with Factor. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in 2 minutes, so you can spend time not standing in front of a hot stove when it's 80 degrees out. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. You've heard me talk about HelloFresh, but Factor is owned by HelloFresh, and I use both of them. My life is twice as easy, twice as tasty. Factor lets me skip shopping, chopping, and prepping, and cleaning. Plus, Factor has more than 34 weekly options, plus over 45 add-ons that include breakfast items like bacon and cheddar egg bites and potato bacon and egg breakfast skillets. Hassle-free bacon in the mail? It's a dream come true! And now Factor offers Gourmet Plus meals as part of your weekly options. Gourmet sides include premium produce like broccoli and broccolini that perfectly complement your gourmet protein, which can be surf and surf, that's shrimp and salmon, or surf and turf, that's shrimp and steak. And I can tell you from personal experience that even after reheating the steak, it's so good. It's not dry, it's not tough, it's just good. This month, I got creamy Parmesan chicken. It was so yummy. So head on over to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code ROCKSTARS50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Once again, that's factor75.com and use code ROCKSTARS50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. 26, in Nueva York, beside the PS4 Spidey, is the Green Goblin from the 1982 Spider-Man Atari game. 27, as Hobie steals stuff from around Miguel's lab, in the background, Miguel is actually building his red and white 2099 suit from the game. 28, when Miles explains canon events in the notes for the Venom event, one of the wedges is actually Tobey Maguire Peter Parker when he pulled the symbiote off himself in the 2007 film. 29, Canadian Spider-Woman. According to production designer Patrick O'Keefe, they got her look from the 1972 Summit Series hockey jersey. 30, one of the Spideys who chases Miles is the Spider-Man popsicle that we saw at the beginning of the first movie. 31, in that cafeteria, they also serve Miguel O'Hara branded hamburgers. 32, 1967 Spider-Man tries to grab Miles, but he misses him. Why? Because 67 Spidey is in 2D animation and he flies right past him. 33, composer Metro Boomin cameos as one of the Spider people.
There's nowhere to run. My bad, everybody. There was somewhere to run.
34, also some of the Spideys are based on vintage Mexican wrestler toys. 35, the 90s animated Sinister Six in the training room, we already talked about, but the Doc Ock says, "Hello, Peter," which is audio of Alfred Molina's Doc Ock in Spider-Man No Way Home. 36, on the train as it flies towards the moon, Miles glitches, and for a frame, you can see his DIY suit from the first movie bought from Stan Lee's costume shop. 37, when Miles swings through Earth 42, there are some Sinister Six cartel red flags if you look closely. Signs for Vulture Telecom and Electro 2G cell service. And then on the rooftop later, signs for Hammerhead and Scorpo, which might be an alternate universe Oscorp. 38, W&W's alternate M&Ms also have the colors reversed from the normal colors of the regular versus peanut ones. 39, instead of Forever 21, there's Never 21. How low is the life expectancy of this place? 40, when Peter B. Parker puts Mayday to sleep, she wears Spider Ham pajamas. 41, when Gwen goes to get Peter B. Parker, her wrist gadget reads 616B, a retcon from the first movie that labeled his universe just 616 because they don't want to say it is the main 616. 42, Miles' coat and hoodie in Earth 42 are green and purple instead of red and blue from 1610, green and purple being the color of Miles' aura in the 2018 film right before Peter saw the red and blue in him and altered his life trajectory. Also important to note that Aaron's apartment is red and blue, which leads to my theory that I talked about in another video that these guys might actually be good guys. 43, Rio has green eyes in Earth 42 instead of her normal brown. Could just be the lighting of this room. 44, there's also a sketch of the Prowler Claw in Earth 42 Miles' bedroom. And 45, Miles' poster above his bed is Oshami on a green background instead of sashimi on red, as it is in his bedroom in 1610. 46, Rio asks, "Do you shoot webs out of your culito?" which is Spanish for little butt, and Miles says, "I had a nightmare about that once, but no." And since this is connected to the multiverse logic of the MCU, there was that Multiverse of Madness dream walking rule might apply here, in which dreams are technically you peering into your life into your alternate universe self, and both America Chavez and MCU Peter Parker have speculated about alternate Spider-Man maybe shooting webs out of their butts. So there is one out there that does analysis. 47, on the roof, Aaron's phone lights up as he side-eyes Miles, a detail showing that 42 Miles had texted him that he was on his way. 48, in the 2018 film, we saw Miles going from having his shoes untied to tying his shoes by the end of the movie to show his evolution, his maturity, but now when he's tied up to Aaron's punching bag, he's back to his shoes being untied. 49, while 1610 Miles famously wears Air Jordan 1s with the red and white colors and the black swoosh, Earth 42 Miles wears Nike Airs with alternate black colors. And 50, when Gwen has her emotional speech with her dad, the mood ring watercolor background rains down in these specific stripes: blue, pink, white, pink, and blue, which makes the transgender flag. Also on her dad's uniform, his patch shows the trans flag, and I already mentioned how in Gwen's room is the Protect Trans Kids sign. Now, I'm not telling you what to think, I'm just saying these animators use color in this really cool way to show how difficult it can be for kids to reveal themselves to their parents. And now, for all these kids out there, you're not alone. Hey, a reminder to subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive. You can support us by grabbing some merch at nerdriot.shop. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Erik Voss. Follow New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bye.